Hello guys, everyone. We're live now for episode 6 of Stadia Source Roundtable Podcast. How are you all doing?
Good.
Outstanding.
Let's say not everyone at once.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try and get something like the guys over at Sound of Stadia, an intro where everyone has to say the same thing at the same time.
It was a unanimous. Yeah, good. Right.
Yeah.
All things considered, yeah, we're doing great.
That's probably the best way for me to say it. Exactly, all things considered.
I'm going to ask you again. How are you guys doing?
We're doing okay.
Great. Awful.
I give up. So today we're actually going to be joined by Chase and also Eddie, Stadia Player One, who's going to be joining shortly. We'll add him as soon as he comes in. We've also got Adam again, and we've also got the usuals, Tommy and Duncan as well. So, yeah, I want to kind of open this up as we always do with what we've been playing. So, Chase, being the guest of honor as usual, what have you been playing, mate?
I had an extensive amount of time with Division 2 this week. And I have to say, I'll say it again, it's the best Ubisoft game that we have on this platform. Hands down, no questions asked. The fluidity of it, the way it moves, the way it plays, it's very, very good. And I also got about an hour's worth of gameplay in on Doom Eternal. And I mean, it's crazy for me to say this, but I'll just say it really quickly. Compared to the PlayStation 4 for Doom 2016, that game feels like you're playing in waders compared to how Stadia feels with Doom Eternal. It's a very weird way to explain it, and hopefully people understand what I'm saying, and it makes sense. It's almost like you're like knee-high in water and you can barely move. It's so strange how fluid it is on Stadia, but how Doom 2016 was almost like, like the way you moved around on the PlayStation, just completely night and day. So that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, okay, and we've just been joined by Eddie, so I'm just going to add him in as well. Yeah. How you doing, Eddie?
Hey, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. Tommy, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, they're rookie numbers, Chase. Come on. Did a 6-hour stream on Doom. It's a great game. I thoroughly enjoying it. I mean, for the people that like Doom, they'll love that game. If you don't like Doom, it's not the easiest one to get into because there's a lot of backstory that's not going to make any sense. But also, I feel it's been a long time. I haven't played Doom since Doom 2016. And jumping back into that kind of game with the sheer volume of FPS we've had over the last sort of 3-4 years, getting used to those really loose controls again is not easy at all. When you then factor that in with a game like Doom, where you literally just don't stop moving constantly or you die. I died a lot in that stream, but I had to lower the difficulty down to easy at one point just to get through one of the challenge arenas. This is just mental. I'm dying over and over and over again. Shame stick. Hell Knights are just not my friend at all. But that's pretty much made my play up since Friday. I played a bit more again today, and I haven't played any NBA this week. It's been Division.
I told you there was still time.
There is. You're right. I've still got like 3 and a bit hours.
Hey, fact, just go into the park
now. Yeah, I'll just go and load it up now. But yeah, I've not played an awful lot of Stadia this week, but what I have played has just been Division 2 and Doom, and I'm happy.
Brilliant. Okay, Eddie, we'll go to you. What have you been playing, my man?
The Division 2, a little bit. And surprisingly enough, it's not in Stadia, but I have been playing a lot of Super Mario Maker 2, trying those very extreme hard levels that less than 1% of people passes in a still on the 99%.
So, Duncan, what have you been playing?
I completed Steamwork Dig this week. I've played a little Division, and welcome to PlayStation Source here. I've been playing a lot of PlayStation. I've been playing.
That is an actual website. That is an actual YouTube as well.
I've been doing some Horizon Zero Dawn, and just to get in with the theme of the week, I have been playing. Oh, flip! It just went out from my head. the zombie game on PlayStation, their exclusive game. What's it called?
Resident Evil?
No, the
Last of Us.
Days
Last of Us,
Days
yeah.
Gone.
Oh,
Days,
Days
Gone.
Gone.
Days Gone. Just to get into the spirit of what's going on at the moment. With my
Nothing
dad
feels nothing feels as eerily apt at the moment as playing Division, though. Even when you
Yeah.
hear the random people talking about swine flu and disregarding it now compared to what that was with the dollar flu, it's like, yeah, this feels almost too real.
Yeah, it is a bit nuts when you did hear some of the echoes when you're playing through the Division 2. It's very, very, very eerie. So I've made the bad jokes to start off with, so the only way is up now.
There's still time yet, Duncan.
So, Adam, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a bit of Division, but mainly I've been playing Darksiders Genesis because I want to get a review done, and I've also been playing a bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But I've got to be honest, it's hard to get into. I've played the previous one, which is Origins, I believe, and I found that actually plays a lot better. I found the animations better and all that, but it's not on Stadia, so I can't really compare them, to be fair. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I can't play Doom because even though you guys keep telling me it's not scary, it still looks scary enough for me.
I do think that should be a stream for you. We'll all just have you play Doom.
Just to see his reactions.
Adam, you need to do a stream because of what you made me play yesterday.
You
I'm gonna let you
enjoyed
tell
yourself.
people what it was. Tell people what it was.
Please say it was Just Dance.
No, it's even better than
Worse.
that. This isn't a Stadia game. It was on Steam and it was on sale for 69% off. It was Genital Jousting.
Oh my god!
I've never played such a surreal game in my life than that.
The funny thing is, though, Dan, even after I left the call, you carried on playing it.
Yes, I know, because it was script. I wanted to know what happened to John. I wanted to see if he found a date or not.
This man just said I was gripped.
So yeah, you owe me for that one. You need a live stream or something.
Okay.
And we get to pick.
Well, we'll sort something out, yeah.
So yeah, what have I been playing? Yeah,
Genital Jousting.
I was gonna say, see the secret's out on one of them.
I've been playing with Johnson's.
Hope you were using protection.
Lots of sanitizer, put it that way. Yeah, I've also been playing the Division 2. Obviously, I played that with Tommy, Adam, and Ash as well. And Chase, you jumped in for a little bit.
You didn't play it.
Well, when the
died a
game
lot.
finally let me in.
You're the
yeah,
cheerleader. You're the Division cheerleader.
Yeah, I was having problems with it because for some reason I kept getting a uniform 01 error, and for about 2 days I literally sat and watched the menu screen at the beginning. It wouldn't let me any further. It turns out that someone had attempted to hack into my Uplay account, so they'd reset my password, and basically my account was temporarily suspended until I reset my password. So once I did, it let me in the game. So it turns out me moaning to Ubisoft and Stadia, and it was actually kind of my fault. So yeah, I apologize for that one. But I've not long played a bit of Supercross with Eddie, although I was kind of late to the party. So yeah,
Yeah, Treasure
than
Hunt,
that-
that's fun.
yeah, it was a good stream, even though I only really got about half an hour's play. So yeah, it's
I
been.
guess about, scary games, I don't think Doom it's nothing scary compared to Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
That is
I thought it was
I
a
don't
letdown.
mind zombie games. Zombie games are okay. It's everything else. I've got stories that
played
will
Resident
make you
Evil
wet
3.
yourself.
Hey, that's after dark. So I played the Resident Evil 3 demo, and I didn't actually like it, to be fair. I mean, the
No,
zombies are
same.
more relentless than what they were before. Like, you down them, and then they kind of lunge for you from the floor, and there's no way to get away from it, really.
And every single one of them lunges at you.
Yeah, it's not like a random thing, or it's just every single one will lunge for you, and it's kind of a bit...
2020 AI.
Yeah, too realistic. So, but yeah, I want to do a couple of shout outs before we kind of get into the meat of the today's show. First of all, and a very big happy birthday to Wingy from Glorious Stadia as well.
Yeah,
so
happy
it's his
birthday, buddy. The big
Well done.
6-0.
Oh, you
Even
got
that
you got my Twitter as well. He doesn't look a day over it anyway.
No, we love Wingy. So I have actually been on the TGOS podcast before, so I think at some point we'll try and get him on the show as well if he's up for it. So yeah, hope you've had a brilliant day, Wingy. So the second thing on the agenda is we are actually supporting a charity today as well, and this charity is called Chime to Thrive. And I'll be posting links in the chat as well at various points throughout the show. And basically, Chime to Thrive, it's a UK charity, but they aim to provide support for people that are in isolation because of the coronavirus. And that includes people suffering from isolation, depression, anxiety because of, the fact that they're having to isolate themselves from the outside world effectively. So, yeah, they've raised quite a lot of money so far as it is. If you watched our Tommy's Doom Eternal stream the other day, he was also supporting the charity throughout as well. So if you can donate to that charity, if you can't donate, then try and spread the word to people that you think may be able to donate. That would be brilliant, and we'd really appreciate it. So yeah, I myself has donated as well. So it only takes a little if you can spare it.
Yeah. It was great to see we got a 40 quid donation during that stream as well, which is awesome.
I think you got 40 and a 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't know about the 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they were from our community, but it happened during our stream, so it could have been. But either way,
that was just to pay Tommy to shut up.
Well, if you'd watched it from the beginning, you didn't need to pay me. I started the first 10 minutes of it. Well, it started all right. Then the next 10 minutes was silent.
And then it was like, I got another 5 hours of this.
Yeah. It was good up until about the 4-hour mark, and then I was just lagging. And then I was like, there's nobody here. I'm just should go to bed right now.
I got made to watch The Shawshank Redemption. Otherwise, I would have been in there chatting with you.
I love how you're right. I was going to say either Dan is being completely honest, or he chose the worst possible example to try to get out of this.
No, honestly, my in-laws were like, "You've got to watch this film," because I've never watched it before. So they were like, "You've got to watch it." But I was trying, and he also said as well, "No mobile phones while we're watching it." So I'm kind of there, like texting Tommy, like, "How you doing, man?" Like trying to provide support for him while he's playing as well. So, but yeah. It was a good stream from what I caught of it. I went and kind of watched a little bit back. Obviously not the 5 hours, but the 6 hours. I watched kind of the highlights, if you like. So, but
it was fun.
Yeah, it was very, very fun indeed. So, coming kind of back to the Division 2 a little bit. Obviously, the Division 2 launched this week on Stadia. I kind of want to first talk to you guys about your experiences with the game so far, if you've played it, and also kind of the what happened with the pricing upon release as well. So yeah, I know some of you have already played it as well. I'm personally enjoying the game. I don't quite know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just running and shooting. I don't really think there's much of a storyline, or at least we've not played it. Have we, Tommy?
No, I think the problem that we have is, we were talking over the tutorial with me, you and Ash. And secondly, I don't think I've completed an actual mission, like a story quest mission. We've literally just done side quests. And yeah, I think that's a big reason as to why we have no idea what we're doing in this one. Whereas the first one, the narrative was much clearer. But then I played it by myself initially as well. I didn't play in co-op or online. So I think maybe just getting on track with the story is probably a good idea for us.
I didn't know he'd put that.
He'll regret the day that he did that.
So, Adam, what have been your thoughts on the Division 2 so far?
Well, first of all, you do really good at being cannon fodder on that game.
Yeah, I just want to shoot. Just run in, try and take as many names as I can, and then if I die, I die.
Well, you're a very good bullet magnet. Yeah, definitely. But it's good fun.
You're welcome.
It's good fun, but I have to disagree a bit with Chase about it being the best Ubisoft title on Stadia at the moment. I actually believe that Breakpoint is a lot more enjoyable with friends, and it's got more of a drive behind it. Like you'll want to do the story missions, and it's very easy to know what you need to do. Whereas on Division, I find myself much like you. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I just run around and try and find all the collectibles. And like you, I try and kill people, but a little bit more successfully. But, that's just my opinion. I really enjoy Breakpoint because I enjoyed Wildlands. I've not played the original Division, so I've come in as a new player. And I find it's just missing something that Breakpoint offers. But it's still got the loot boxes in, obviously.
And that game's going to be a very different game in 2 days' time.
How come?
The immersive mode drops on the 24th.
Oh, sorry, Breakpoint. I thought you meant the Division.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Breakpoint. Breakpoint is going to get a lot more of my time when that's live.
Yeah,
same.
To Chase, I believe you tried to say something about the game. Did you
well,
want to
no,
add to that?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to what Adam's saying, my comment isn't about the game aspect of whether the game is good or not good. I'm talking just about mechanics and the way the game actually runs. It's the best running version of a Ubisoft title that we have on this platform. And I think if you look at the bugs and the issues with Breakpoint, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of problems with Breakpoint on Stadia. It's not clean. It does not run efficiently as Division 2 does. Now, the reason I think that the Division, for me, that this game has been good, why I've enjoyed it so much, is I think it is a little bit of a departure from the first game in some respects. And it does, to be fair to what Adam was saying, there are some things that are a little bit more separated out as far as the missions and stuff as compared to like Breakpoint, because Breakpoint's a very clean UI. Everything's very straightforward. You have your missions all in one spot. Division's broken up into these different segments. So you kind of have to work to the menu screen, then work to your progress, then work to your missions, and then you see what you have to work on, and then you move back over to your map UI to then highlight whatever that mission is that you need to move towards. So it's... For me, I think playability-wise, I always shy more towards Breakpoint, like Adam said, because that's more my kind of game. I like Wildlands a lot. That was one of my favorite games that Ubisoft put out. But as far as the way the game runs, I'm not... If we didn't have the Division 2 right now, I would say, okay, it's absolutely Breakpoint as far as Ubisoft games. But now that the Division is out, it's night and day. Like the two games run completely different, and I think the Division 2 was just a much more cleaner rollout from Ubisoft with how they implemented it on Stadia.
I think you can say that hands down for the title anyway. You compare what happened to Ghost Recon when it rolled out way before it came to Stadia. It was horrendous. It's had nothing but problems. It barely sold any units. I doubt that it's particularly anywhere near budget level right now. I think the new update will help, and obviously bringing Sam Fisher into the franchise is a huge boost. And I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like I have to say it. Them doing this makes me believe again that we are closer to seeing a Splinter Cell title that isn't the VR one that we know is coming, but an actual Ubisoft title.
Yep. I agree.
And I don't think I think Sam Fisher is going to kind of take the I don't know, almost like a trainer kind of role. I don't think you're going to play as him, but I do think the Splinter Cell is going to be coming back probably next year, maybe the year after.
Splinter Cell for me has got the hallmarks of a second party or third party exclusive for somebody for at least a year. Someone's going to pony up the money to get it. That's my feeling with Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. And you know what? Had you asked me who I'd put my money on maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have said Stadia, purely knowing how much Ubisoft seems to like working with the platform. But actually, they recently came out with that tweet. I don't know if anybody else seen it, saying that they're 100% supporting GeForce Now. And I could almost see something going on there. That seems like a random tweet to come out to say like they're supporting the number one platform that all other publishers seem to be having a problem with, and saying that they still support Stadia, but that we are not the easiest platform to onboard. So yeah, money. And you look at the Stadia player numbers, base isn't out yet, that will make an impact. But when you look at the sheer volume of people using GeForce Now, that's a no-brainer.
It's hard to be the best buy in the world if you're on a Zimmer frame.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying about Splinter Cell. That game's old now.
It's been going for a very long time. I had the original on PC.
You know what's very interesting about that game, by the way, is that there was a lot of me and Dan have talked about this offline. Is there was a lot of movement in different legitimate message boards that game was something that Google was in conversations about trying to get some licensing to. And I don't know, again, that stuff kind of went quiet for a while after October, November, but that's a game that whoever gets their hands on it, that will sell. That is going to sell very, very well.
I've owned every single one of them. I've played every single one of them to death. It's a franchise that I would DDT, shall we say.
I got a question. Does any of you guys know Siphon Filter?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I was making comparisons because at the time it was the title that was compared to.
Yeah.
But it has been completely locked down, or we haven't heard anything about the game in years and years as well.
All I'm saying is that effing Catacombs level. I don't know if any of you played.
Yeah.
Jesus. Eddie, you want to share something to the screen?
Yeah, I was just trying to show here. I have the Division open, and when you click on the menu here, you have progression, and you see there is already shows there at the bottom a recommended activity. So it kind of guides you. Okay, what should be the next thing I should be doing? There is the main story here, and the other stories, the side missions and their priorities. So it's
that's what the stats should look like when we play the game, not 0% story mission, 20% side missions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we
it's
need
all
to revisit our strategy.
It's all how you decide to play.
Cool. So obviously, the other thing I wanted to point out about was when the game came out, and that is the pricing structure. Duncan, you've got a cheeky grin on your face there. You've probably got quite a lot to say about this, by the sounds of it.
Another Stadia shambles. It started off like it looked like it was a Ubisoft mess up. Then it came out as a pro deal. I think we said one of our chats, I think it was Ash, came off of this. They've got the time zones mixed up. They set to the GMT instead of Pacific time, and they messed up.
Who did you fire for that?
I'm still making my mind up about that. So I am. Well, I have another think. I have to go through the audit trails again.
So I think the one of the weirder things about this was that they weren't giving refunds to certain people. Now I don't know if they've gone back and cleared that up with those people.
I feel like they have to, right?
Yeah, I mean it's dread otherwise. I mean, obviously when the game first came out, you couldn't play it anyway because they had errors. And I think they mentioned in the TGOS podcast yesterday that was potentially to try and stop people from going over their 2 hours and allow them to be eligible still for
It was a maintenance. It was a maintenance for everything. So I think they were just. So that was the reason why it wasn't working.
But then if you still sat in the menu lobby like I was for 2 hours, then no refund for me. But yeah, it's they did the same kind of thing with Tomb Raider, didn't they? When it came out as a free pro game.
Yeah, it was the first pro game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so people had obviously gone out and bought the game, and then it was all of a sudden free like days later, and they were kind enough to. And also with the Farming Simulator as well, the Platinum Edition of the Farming Simulator, they were kind enough to go back and rectify that mistake. So I feel like if they haven't done so already, then that's something that definitely needs to happen because that was just a shambles, like Duncan said.
It's not a great look. You know, it's you go 7 or 8 weeks with basically really good really good communication, really good rollouts of situations. You start putting in a semblance of a cadence strategy with game releases, right? And what really makes this even worse, unfortunately, is that the week before, not to bring this back up or to drudge this up, but the 4K situation came up, and people, in my opinion, I've said this before, wrongfully are putting all the blame on Stadia for that when it's really more on the developer. Well, then you have this happen, this week, and what do you think that the conversation is again? Oh, well, Stadia is a joke. Stadia doesn't know how to roll out a game. They put out the game for $30 and then took it back, and now the game's $10. All these little things start to add up. So, the big thing for them at this point is they got to get their act together. They've got to get a simple cadence strategy. And here's the thing, be honest with us. If you can't roll out a game at midnight every time zone, then just roll it out at one freaking time for all the games. If you want it to be midnight Eastern time, that's fine. Make it midnight Eastern time and stick with that. Stop bouncing around with 50 different things, because then this type of situation happens.
Don't want to release it at midnight Eastern time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Doom's rollout was actually perfect. And I think that goes a long way to show that perhaps a lot of these issues aren't necessarily Stadia's fault. Maybe there's a two-way thing here. I mean, we don't have any insight to how this works yet. Obviously, we know that Stadia have to be capable and make the game available on the platform. But for all we know, the developers may have the final button to press and say, right, our game is live now. I think I don't know, because the previous rollouts would suggest that it's more like the Division, more a Stadia thing, but it's hard to know what's going on because, like you rightly say, Chase, with the way that there is no consistency about how this works, and I guess to a certain point the developer may have input into how and when a game is released, time zones, that sort of thing, or it could be completely on Stadia, and in which case, yeah, there needs to be a level of uniformity that it would be awesome to see all games available from midnight in every country, but you're going to get people moan, as they always have done, about not being able to access that game if they're, I don't know, say in Australia until almost the following day after its release time. Or maybe just like 3 zones.
Well, let's do a quick recap here on times game has been released on Stadia. It has been always at 9 a.m. Pacific time before, and then when it was a pro games that they were gonna give away and it was on the weekend, it released it before 9 a.m. Pacific time, and the Doom released, which was a brand new game launching on everywhere else, was a midnight launch.
No, we got it at 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
in the
sorry,
UK.
midnight launch Eastern time. They selected
yeah.
1 Eastern time one time zone to launch at midnight. So we got 3 different scenarios Stadia working so far. From now on, I would say games that has already been released in other platforms, they can release it at 9 a.m. Pacific time. There's no problem. games that are going to be released together, like Doom, that was released on PlayStation and so on, I would say they need to, if they can't do midnight rollouts according to their individual time zones, they gotta stick with one time zone, like they did it with Eastern time, and go away. But the remaining games that they're gonna release, we're gonna be releasing games on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, every single day of the week, but select one specific time if it's not midnight.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Just a level of uniformity so people know what's going to happen and when.
Yeah, same with us getting the announcements out that the games have launched as well, because I kind of schedule an article to go up sometimes, and then at all points during the day I've got to be sitting there checking social media just to make sure it hasn't launched, so that we can obviously get that news out there. So
since we're picking in Stadia here, what we discovered this week, which I was meant to do an article for, which I didn't because I'm a lazy fecker and because of what's going on in work at the moment, and it's all went nuts, is Stadia have put the veto on the free weekends. There's a free weekend for Football Manager, which is going on, which is really, really successful. I think we've broke records here, there, and everywhere. And the Ubisoft free weekend for Assassin's Creed, it is Stadia saying no to that. I have got it from the tweet from the developer Football Manager. So it's something I was going to be making this into an article, or I was meant to, but I'm stupid. And it was even if they lock behind free weekends behind the pro deal, where you have to be a pro, I think that would be a good thing to do. But that is the reason why we are not part of the free weekends, because Stadia don't seem to be wanting to implement it at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a shame because it would be super easy to do, right? You just open the license to everybody, like say, lock it behind Pro. All Pro users can access this game, and turn it off as soon as the weekend's done.
Yeah, so I think even if you lock it behind Pro as a Pro perk, it's a easy win there for them.
Yeah,
there's so many things that they could do that just make the most sense from a business perspective that they're not doing. And look, if the answer to that is to what Duncan is saying, that right now we don't choose to do that because we haven't rolled out base, tell us that. Again, this comes back to them being as open and honest with us as possible about things. And I feel like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or to sound the alarm on stuff, but we're starting to see them start to shell up again and become very reclusive, similar to what we saw happen back in September. And I really think they got to be very careful about getting into a mindset where they don't get into communication with us. Like, case in point, very quickly, look at the Jade Raymond and Aaron Hoffman-John YouTube stream that they did. That is something they could easily do every month to the community, and to interact with us, to say, look, here's the things that we're doing. Here's the things that we're thinking about. Here's what we can't do right now. And here's the reason why. If you tell people why, people are more apt to, maybe they'll, excuse my French, but maybe they'll complain, or maybe I was going to say a bad word, but I'm not going to. They'll complain about something for the moment. Yes, there you go. They'll complain about something for the moment. But in the end, they're going to appreciate the fact that at least you told them the why. And the more that you don't do that, that's not good. So I have to be honest, I'm befuddled by why they're choosing not to do that. Other than maybe it's because base isn't out there yet. And again, if that's the reason why, just tell the community that. It's not hard.
Well, they could even do what we're doing now, live streaming, video conferencing, because of obviously the coronavirus outbreak at the moment. So I wonder if that has some sort of element to do with their lack of communication with us at the moment. If so, it's not an ultimate excuse, but at least it would explain a few things.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just meant that as a trend in general. The past couple of weeks, we've noticed they've not been as communicative as they could have been. I think that's what I should have said. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that? Because I know that it happened, that live stream, but I don't think it's gonna be either Jade or either someone on a C level or a VP or a very senior person for that specific part of communicating with the community, that's why they have the position of community manager. But the thing is Duncan's position, community manager.
Duncan Harrison.
Sir, right there, you.
Speaking of community, this is just what I remember. I'm sorry for it. My head is, like I said, I need to say these things or I'll just forget them. And remember we've got the big news tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, GDC, right?
GDC tomorrow.
Right,
Sorry, it's just
he's muted again. So, my point I was trying to make is, it's up to the community manager to handle the community expectations. If there's questions that the community manager cannot answer, he either says, okay, I can't answer this, or I'm going to be grabbing this, we'll be running inside, and I hope that I can bring this answer to you guys. But absolutely, the community manager should have like a live stream format as well, not only interacting once in a while on Twitter or on the Discord.
Yeah, and they could have people on. I'm okay with that, but they need to do more. And we're at a point now where they need to be the beacon on the hill that is different than everybody else. And right now they're not separating themselves in that regard. And I think that's what gets people really frustrated with this, is they could be doing more. And hopefully tomorrow we see some excellent news. And I don't want to overshadow that, because we are going to get stuff tomorrow, but I just meant in general. I didn't put good context on that. My fault, y'all.
I just want to see Phil Harrison and John Justice kind of come out of the woodwork a little bit. Duncan Harrison.
Yeah, there he is.
Just pull the mask off. Yeah, I just think that they've kind of disappeared into the ether, and I think they could be just communicated a little bit more with us.
Yep, exactly.
And by the way, Phil Harrison does sometimes interact a little bit on Twitter, just retweeting some stuff. But John Justice, it's on the Batcave mode again. He doesn't have Twitter. He doesn't interact. He went to the Fortress of Solitude, right?
Maybe it's about time we get Stadia Cast to kind of coax him out.
I was going to say they have to lure him out of the cave with something bright and shiny, right?
Yeah. So, kind of, unless anybody else has got anything to add to this, I'd like to move on. Anybody? So, I believe, Adam, you had an announcement you wanted to make. So I'm going to let you make that now.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to make this announcement. I've had a message. The person would like to remain anonymous, but they have said to me that any money that's raised during this stream to the charity down here, they will double that amount.
Wow.
So if you all start digging into your pockets, we could do some real good here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I may have to donate again then.
Yeah.
Just to take you up on that. So, yeah, you heard Adam. If you can, donate whatever you can. We know it's a UK charity. Yeah, definitely. We know it's a UK charity, and we have listeners from all over the world as well. So we totally understand, you know what I mean, if you don't want to donate. But if you can at least share it to someone who might be able to, then that would more than help us. So,
Chase is
anonymous. Chase is off to the ATM as we speak. And Eddie.
Make a donation now and they won't come back.
Too late.
I just came back from the ATM machine.
Yeah, so I forgot where I was going with that now. So, but yeah, basically, if you can, that would help us. So whoever you are, anonymous donator, that would be, well, thank you, first and foremost. Thank you. That would be brilliant. So, Chase, you been to the ATM, man?
No.
It's gonna make it rain, just dollar bills.
Considering the Patreons I'm going to be subscribed to next week, I've already got Wingy's locked down. I got to get over to the Stadia. Might as well just keep the paper mill going, man.
In that case, I'll set one up later and I'll forward over the details.
Tommy's like, why the hell not? You got to subsidize that cat over there, right?
We've actually had a few people sign up to our Patreon, which we'll give them a shout out at the end of the stream. So,
if somebody donates in the next 10 minutes, can I say it? I'll get the pussy out.
You mean to the charity below?
Yes.
Eddie looks completely confused because he does not know what's going on.
No, I don't know what's going on. I'm just opening a link here.
If you find any links with that caption, do not click it.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't do it. Don't do it.
By the way, can anyone drop the link on the chat? Because it's not on the description.
Dana did put it in the chat earlier, I believe.
The link to what? Sorry,
The charity.
Yeah, trying
The
to thrive.
bit.ly to why
I can repost it now. That's in my clipboard. There you go. So yeah, thank you again. Right, moving swiftly on then to Doom Eternal. So I know, Tommy, you've had probably the most experience so far out of this game. What with your 6-hour live stream the other day?
Yeah, so I've pumped about 9.5, 10 hours into it now already, which is probably more than I've played any other game in such a short space of time for a very long time. I just love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Doom franchise. It's probably one of the earliest FPS games that I ever played. I remember playing it around my friend's house when we were far too young to play a Doom game. His dad let us play it on the PC, and that game just holds a special place for me anyway. But this one is so much better than Doom 2016, and I think a lot of people previously held that game as the best Doom game. Unless you really go back to the hardcore fans that will probably pick Doom 1 or 2. I don't see how you can find I don't see how anybody that enjoyed those games could really say that this game isn't at least on par with what those did. It just works flawlessly as a game. Like there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Why do I always make that mistake? Sorry. I set
Don't
up.
worry.
I'm kind of preparing for the next segment, and then I go to share my screen, and it automatically just shares it rather than allowing me to add it. So yeah, nobody saw that.
You're trying to point what direction is it?
It could have been worse. It could have been your website some earlier.
I have a question for you guys about Doom because me and Chase failed miserably on Doom 2016 predictions when it would launch.
Yeah, we did.
What do you guys think?
Here we go. I'm gonna go for one of my wacky predictions. This is the prediction. Are you ready?
Can I just beat you to it?
Okay, you go. Yep.
Go ahead, Eddie. Play this.
Going to. I don't think we're going to get Doom 64 on Stadia.
Oh,
What? No, wait. You said Doom 64, right?
Yes.
No, but wait. Remake.
Back the. Oh,
So, Stadia posted on Twitter that Doom 64 is launching on Stadia sometime
Tommy
And
knows.
deleted it.
later this year. And when it launches on Stadia, we would get it for free if you order.
yes.
Right.
Before the 3rd of
Right.
April.
Go ahead, Duncan.
No, I was just saying they put it back up again.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that ruins mine then.
What that tin
It's like, I
foil
gotta
hat
tell
is.
you guys, like, stop!
My June 2016 prediction was it is just not going to happen until Stadia has a Game Pass. It's going to go straight onto like a Game Pass.
Love it.
But they have
didn't
a Game
someone say
Pass.
you could play Doom within Doom, actually.
Dude, what is this, Inception?
Yeah, someone says apparently if you go up to one of the consoles in Doom Eternal, you can actually play, I think it's Doom 2 or something.
That would not surprise me even remotely. I mean, it's one of the longest running memes, right? Is what can you play Doom on it? I've seen people use a Casio calculator and play Doom 1.
So yeah. I don't know if I'll be picking this game up. I think I kind of need to kind of play it somewhere before I do, just because at the moment I've got too much to play and not enough time to play it. So
For me,
Just to highlight something, Resurrector has just confirmed that.
did you already have that as a sound clip, or?
Is it going through? Sorry.
Yeah, we heard it.
Shit. But I was on mute. No, I was checking to add it as on clipboard. But anyway, I ruined the fun.
for me anyway, I'm waiting for Doom for a pro deal. That's what I can't justify paying the price for it at the moment.
Yeah, and you know fine well it's going to be a pro deal at some point.
Oh, it will be. You will get a pro deal on it.
I think it has to, and partly because it's the first AAA game that's been developed with Stadia in mind. And I know that we lost a lot of the Stadia branding on that game for a while, but I mean, going back to Tommy T999, he had exclusive hands-on play on that game on the Stadia platform, like I think about 8 months ago now.
Gamescom August. That was when they were running the demo.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it will be a pro deal. Probably in about 4 months.
I think it will be. It will take a while, but it's weird that this game they had a close tie to Stadia for so long, and then when it was time for launch it, that tie became closer to Xbox. You guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think money has a lot to do with that. And at the end of it, when they know that Stadia is coming, I think Microsoft stepped up and like, no, look, we'll flash the cash. We want the rights to market this game.
I'm going to say no. I think there's still issues in the background. I don't think this is money changing hands just because of the other titles as well. And there goes my negotiate onto the floor.
Well, remember what Rock says. It's always handshake deals. It's never that it's official, because then you would be getting into a bunch of legality issues anyway. So
I don't think it has been. I think it's just they've got into some issues and they're not. The Stadia dev tools are still getting worked on, we'll say, and everybody's still getting used to them. Just to add into that, did anybody else see the Crew 2 tweet?
No, I haven't seen this. I know people have been talking about it, but I haven't seen the actual.
I
tweet
probably
yet.
have, but I can't remember.
1080p. That's it. There are 4K modes coming at some stage. So again, I think it's more. I don't think the money's changed hands. I know a lot of people in the community think that, but for me, I just don't think it's on. People are still just learning the platform.
I think
rather than.
I think at this point it's a safe bet to just say that if the game already exists or wasn't in a development state when Stadia became accessible to devs in a real sort of real-time environment, I don't think you're going to see these games come at native 4K. I think the only games that are going to be coming in that are ones that are probably going to be starting development around now. So Stadia is already out. I know it's not out on base, but it's out. It's established as a product now. I think the games that start picking up development from now onwards with Stadia in mind will get native 4K. I think everything else we should probably just write off at this stage, because if Doom doesn't come out in native 4K when we've had everything to tell us that it would, I don't think anything else is going to.
It's not only Doom discussion here, right, or Stadia discussion. It's more like a next generation discussion, because with the mounting power that the teraflops thing will change on the next generation as well, all the publishers will be developing, okay, now that I have all of this, I will develop for 4K. And of course, if it's the Stadia studio working on that, 888 that they're going to be developing in 4K and Stadia functionalities.
Yeah, I mean, to a point, absolutely, because the other thing is, even with the likes of the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, the hardware changes within those devices were not enough to run native 4K at 60 frames. They were a half step up from what was already in existence. a sort of almost like a desperate grab at 4K. I think. And you look at anybody with a real hardcore gaming PC, and they kind of laugh at the fact what all the console generation are looking at, and they're like, "Oh, we've got 4K 60 frames." They're like, "Yeah, that should be doing that for the money that you guys are now paying. You should be getting that."
So this is the tweet, obviously, that Duncan's referring to. And if you can see that, let me just zoom in slightly. So yeah, that's official from the crew too. But at least 4K is coming, so that's the silver lining to be taken away from there, I guess.
It is. It's, at least to say they're working on it, at least anyway. So,
And that begs the question of how many other games that currently aren't 4K could be brought up to 4K at a later date if the devs chose to.
Red Dead Redemption. I definitely think Rockstar could put some work. You know, they could really pull their finger out and get that game 4K on Stadia. I think they just rushed the release out.
I think that the development cycle for that game is already done and dusted, and they've got GTA 6 is, regardless of the rumors, it's not the next game. It wasn't what those things that came out recently are going to be for the
LA Noire.
Yeah, I agree. I think the rumors have come from somewhere, and it was a great game for Rockstar. It was a good way of showcasing new technology for the games industry and mocap. I think that's a more likely outcome. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything for Red Dead.
Well, is this going to be a trend going forwards as well? With some games that coming across, if they can't get it up to 4K, then release it at a lower spec and then bring it up later on.
Yeah,
do you think we could see that as a trend?
I think that's a legitimate way of doing it, right? Get the game out if it's there, but tell people at the very beginning, make it clear that it's a work in progress to get to another goal.
Interesting stuff. So, moving on then, I want to talk about the pro deals that are running until the 1st of April. If I bring this up onto my screen now. So, yeah, these are the pro deals. We've got Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Just Dance 2020, The Division 2, Trials Rising. So, who here has taken advantage of any of these deals so far? No one? Adam?
No, I have. Yeah. I bought Assassin's Creed, and I bought. Sorry, not me. My partner bought a second copy of Breakpoint so that we could play together. Because, as I recently found out, when Stadia releases that family share, you'll be able to access the same game, but not at the same time, which is a bit of a tremendous letdown for me. Because I really enjoy my couch co-op, and knowing now that I have to buy the game twice if I want to play it on 2 Stadia accounts was a real letdown for me. But yeah, those are the deals I've been buying.
How does it work on other platforms? Do we know?
Same.
On PlayStation, you can play it at the same time.
All right, I didn't know that actually. I know Xbox you can't. You still have to have.
Question: You're saying you can play at the same time in the same console or different consoles?
No, not on the same not on the same console, but on different consoles.
That's cool. Didn't know that.
With the other games, sir, forgot to mention this in my roundup. I just finished Assassin's Creed, all the DLC and stuff this week on PlayStation. I've got myself up to 140 hours in that. So if you're looking at a big long game and you want to do stuff, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is awesome. And pick up the deluxe edition or whatever, includes all the DLC. You'll have a lot of bang for your buck depending on your play style. And with that 140 hours, I still haven't got all the trophies. So I've got the platinum, but I haven't got all the other ones. So I would,
there's the prices for anybody that's interested.
I would pick up the Ultimate Edition.
I almost thought about picking up Assassin's Creed, but I just have this feeling like we've talked about, games that might get a pro deal or games that might end up being on pro. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is eventually going to be a free pro game. It's just bound to happen, and I could not justify to myself if I went and spent the $20. And don't get me wrong, that's a great deal. It's a very good deal on that game. If it ended up being on pro, I'd be like, you got to be, because I've already done that with Guild. So I'm like, I don't want to make the same mistake twice, where potentially I'm going to get that game for free. So I'm patient. There's more than enough in my catalog to be playing right now. I think all of us, we're in a really good place. It's a good problem to have. You've got too many games and not enough time. Sometimes it's not a bad thing.
Being content creators as well, it's hard to kind of juggle all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I think Assassin's Creed's going in when base launches.
Yeah, I think that'll be a base game. That just makes perfect sense, right? Let everybody onto the platform and go, by the way, give us a tenner and you can have Assassin's Creed.
Duncan throwing down the facts of knowledge.
Hey, we got mini Eddie.
He's like, look, we just...
I'm just taking the piss out from myself.
Right, so next on the list, I've literally just added this because I've only just kind of remembered, and that was the RBI Baseball 20 could be coming to Stadia according to an ESRB listing. ESRB is obviously the ratings board for games, and if I just share my screen with you here, this is the article over on Stadia Source as well, but actually... I was in the middle of finding it here. There we go. So RBI Baseball 20, as you can see there, Stadia. So that's a very good indication that this game could be coming to Stadia, which is, I'm not, I'll be honest with you, I'm not much of a sports game fan myself, but Stadia definitely does need some more sports games in my opinion. So is anybody interested in that one or? No. I swear Tumbleweed just...
It's always an awkward question when you ask like UK folk, are you interested in baseball? Doesn't exist in our country, really, does it? But funnily enough,
not really.
I used to play a ton of the baseball games like back in the early sort of PlayStation days, and maybe there's another console I think that had one.
I would give it a word for like a $5, but if you're talking 40, 50 quid, not a mission. Or if it was on a Game Pass system, I would give it a try, but not. I would be rushing out from to put my money down for it.
It's going to be another Supercross, isn't it? Where we'll all get it for free and then realise it's actually a beast of a game.
Yeah. I am really looking forward to MotoGP now, though. That the video that I think it was you that put it up down on there, just about the the level of detail they've gone in on the tires. So yeah, this kind of game's got me written all over it now. It's a proper sim. It'll be good.
Definitely. Okay, so moving on, just a couple of kind of things we wanted to talk about that are more Stadia Source centric as well. But obviously, Chase and Eddie, feel free to kind of weigh in on them as well and give your opinions. So the first one is we kind of want to be doing some more regular live streaming on Stadia Source as well. Actually have members of our team playing games and having you kind of join us along those journeys as well. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions of any games you kind of want us to play, we've got quite a few members of the team already, so we'll try and accommodate that as much as possible.
Dan and Just Dance has got it in the stars.
Whilst doing the fliggle giggle.
Dan's happy to play genital jousting for you all, by the way.
When it comes to Stadia, yeah. Not if it comes to Stadia, when.
Listen. By the way, me and Eddie are talking about doing an unfiltered portion for this week on Stadia. That might be something we have to have you on for. By the way, look at Eddie.
What, genital jousting?
I didn't say anything. That was your words, not mine.
Or Just Dance. Yeah, I'm too fat for Just Dance.
I've seen a guy with no legs play that game.
Okay, we have to find out afterwards.
Sorry,
Eddie,
it wasn't
come on,
Just
Eddie.
Dance. It's Dance Dance Revolution, but
Oh,
same game, right?
it's
Just a
coming,
different
not-
maker.
It's when.
Say that again, sorry, Eddie.
No, the never mind.
What they said. So, yeah. Anything anyone to add to that before we kind of move on?
Yeah, if you guys want entertainment, make me play a horror game. Not a zombie game, I'm fine with them, but make me play a horror game, and it makes me shake just thinking about it, but I would do it for you guys.
Kinds of horror game.
I can't play Guilt. I managed to get into the school, and then I was like, nope, that's it, enough for me. Even the developers were taking the mick out of me, saying, you should be okay, it's rated acceptable for everyone. Yeah, thanks for making me feel better.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely try and do that.
They
Tommy,
send you a
trying to
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so I
sorry,
got
that's
it.
what you're saying.
I got it slightly wrong. He's not got no legs. He's got one leg.
Oh, we're watching. Okay.
This is better than the guy that had the gun.
When it plays.
You're not ready for this.
I'm already picturing imagining the music in my head. I don't know if you've ever been to a British seaside, but these things are everywhere.
Is that not playing? From what I can see, it's really staggered and it's not working.
I'm just like, am I supposed to be laughing yet?
On my screen, this is playing flawlessly, but it's not.
Oh yeah,
there we
it's
go.
kind of going faster now. Wow. See, you really have no excuse, people. Okay.
See, the
Oh, you're
internet
not
is full of
entertained,
wonderful
audience.
things.
Eddie left. That was too much for him.
He's gone to cut his leg off.
he's just dragging out his dancing stage right as we speak, right from under the bed. So, thanks for sharing that with us, Tommy.
That's fine. That's going to be a new feature. I'm just going to drag up some random YouTube video every week.
Yep, that sounds like a plan. I've got my bad predictions. You can get your, we'll say, interesting video.
I don't know what to say right now. I will say to get to talk about your regular live streaming, that it's great to see that you guys are doing that, because I do think that you each have a wealth of experience when it comes to gaming over the years, and I really, I say this all the time about all the folks we have in our community, but I really do enjoy, like Dan, when you've done different things and you talk about your experience. I know Tommy always draws back from games that he's played in the past, and that comes into his live streams. Duncan does a good job of doing that. And I know Adam, I've, through our conversations in Discord, you've done an amazing job of drawing back on things as well. So you guys all have a wealth of experience that's something that I think people will enjoy, that when you say something like, hey, this really reminds me of X game, you truly mean it because you've had the experience of playing that game. And not everyone has that luxury of having that experience. There's a lot of people that have only been gaming for maybe 5 or 6 years, versus maybe their entire lives. So.
Yeah, and I think like I said, we've got quite a few members of the team already. So rather than just having like one live stream a week, which tends to be this podcast that we do now, because obviously making individual videos is quite time consuming, and what with the current climate of things at the moment, it's not always easy to do. So to just have any one of us be able to play any game at any point in time, yeah, I think people are going to enjoy it. So yeah. So one of the other things we wanted to talk about as well is, I don't know if any of you are aware, can't even get my words out, that we also do reviews on Stadia Source as well. And we want to kind of let Adam talk about some of the changes that we're going to be doing to the reviews as well. So Adam, if you want to take the lead on that one.
Yeah, sure. First of all, we're going to need a screen share, not mine, because we've got a new mascot for the reviews and potentially the live streams. Their name is Stadiasaur Sam, but I say Sammy for short. And they're just a little helpful visualization of our verdicts on a game.
So yeah,
Such an
every
angry-looking
review
happy man.
we have others. Hang on, you can't really see them in the dark mode, but yeah. So basically, every time we rate a game, we're going to have a different kind of rating system based on, rather than having like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, it will be kind of a must buy, wait for sale, or kind of just don't bother with it kind of system. We believe that will actually help people make up their minds a lot easier when it comes to whether they should purchase a game or kind of leave it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're also going to
just
be.
wanted to. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to say about the new scoring system. The reason why we came up with it is because when you think about it, when you go on places like Metacritic or Steam or anywhere that gives a number score, at the end of the day, it's arbitrary. What does a 7 out of 10 tell you? What it tells you that it's good, or does it tell you it's great but not excellent, or what? Or does it say maybe you should buy this? I think, especially with Metacritic, because it's out of 100. I mean, what's the difference between a 73 and a 72? I've got no idea myself, and I felt like this takes out the ambiguity. We're actually saying what we think about this game, whether we think it's a smart purchase, basically, or whether it's something you want to wait until later, or just give it a miss.
Yeah, and
and
obviously
after
because
some
all of us
feedback.
are- Yeah,
Sorry,
because
yeah.
we're all doing. Sorry, what you say?
No, I was just going to say we asked the community what they thought, if they like
Yeah.
the scoring system or whether they prefer it as a verdict, as I've called them now. And they all said, apart from one person, I got one person who said they prefer scores, but they can stick to Metacritic. That they all prefer to have a succinct verdict where we actually say you should probably buy this game, or you should wait until it's on sale. Anyway, I'm done now. I'm done now, Dan. You can carry on
That's all right.
uninterrupted.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay.
We're all kind of any one of the Stadia Source staff can submit a review as well, because obviously when it comes to games, everybody has different tastes of what they like and what they dislike. So we want to kind of give you as many sides of the coin as we can. It might be that I absolutely love a game and Adam hates it, for example. So yeah, these
Final
are kind
Fantasy.
of farming simulator.
Touche. In fact,
That's going to be the
actually,
next poll. Which do you hate most?
I think that one would go as far as finish him.
With the different people having different viewpoints, that's what happens out on YouTube. You find someone who you like and you trust their review more than other people, so they have the same sort of taste. So if for some random reason you like my reviews and you figure on the same sort of wavelength as me, my reviews might be dead on for you. Same goes for Adam. If you may think complete header, which is completely true, but you trust Adam's reviews, whose reviews are absolutely amazing. I don't agree with all of them, but but they are really good reviews. You just pick up from different people and you can see what they like and what they don't like. So having multiple people review it, I think, is a really good decision.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to be kind of coding into the site at some point in the near future as well is also for the ability for members of the public to submit their own reviews as well. I don't know if anybody's kind of seen the way that like True Achievements for the Xbox does it, but basically people can submit their own reviews and then obviously other people can rate those reviews so that the ones with the highest ratings appear more towards the top. We're kind of working in a hybrid of that, really. Obviously, we don't want decent reviews that are fairly new to get pushed too far to the bottom, if you know what I mean. So we're trying to iron out the kinks on that one at the moment. But that will also allow you to not only get our opinion as staff members of Stadia Source, but also Joe Public's opinion as well. So look out for that one, I guess. So that concludes kind of too much talk about Stadia Source as a website. I kind of want to get back to Stadia as a whole, and that is a question that I want to put to all of you, and that is, should Google release base? Now, obviously, the question is yes, they should release base. There needs to be a bit more of that, and that is kind of one of the questions that was put. I'm trying to word it correctly so you kind of get where I'm coming from, and that is, should they be releasing it during the current climate when it comes to obviously the coronavirus and such? Would now be a decent time for it to do it, or do you think they should wait?
I will be controversial. Here's a shocker. I will say, in theory, yes, this is the perfect time to do it. But as we have seen with Tommy's just lost it. As we seen what we seen last weekend with Spain and Italy, if their service is going.
Sorry, Duncan. Yeah.
I need to get my own back.
I got to mute.
Sorry, Duncan. Go ahead, man.
Okay, I will try and compose myself here while Tommy does something which he's not very. Okay, we'll go down that joke line. No, I don't think we should release it at the moment because.
Achievement unlocked.
But you froze because you're just like.
No, I think I missed what was going on.
It's like a bunch of juveniles. What am I doing?
I'm the youngest one out of you lot, but the most mature.
It's just the way that it happened, the way that he looked at the camera, the way that he got up, and then the way that Eddie threw that. It's just too much. Jesus Lord, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm muting again.
Okay. No, I don't think they should launch it, even though it makes sense to launch it now. It makes sense to launch it, but as we've seen within Spain and Italy last weekend, there doesn't seem to be a lot of capacity. If they are going to do it, they're going to have to do it slowly. We'll just try and not get Tommy to laugh here. And Chase is off in one again.
We'll have to come to Chase last.
But no, I don't think they should launch it at the moment, or if they're going to launch it very, very slowly and staggered.
Can I ask something to you guys now that we're trying to recompose it here? I've saw some news saying that over Europe, I don't know if it's affecting UK or not, the internet, or especially Netflix and YouTube, was dropping a little bit on quality, so everyone gets to watch it. Did you guys felt that in UK?
No, we're not actually a part of that.
Europe?
As far
We're
as
not-
we're
Yeah, we are.
It's 30 days.
Yeah, we are getting affected by it.
Although we're not European
I can
Union, we're still
play,
in Europe.
Yeah, but what I meant by that was I still have full access to the 4K content.
Yeah,
whereas
It's
others
by
are
default
reporting-
they put it down. You can put it back up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right, okay. I thought they just actually
Netflix and
removed it.
YouTube.
Yeah, because I got an email from them as well.
And Disney Plus as well, which is launching this week in the UK. Disney Plus is launching. I've already signed up for that because I'm a Disney freak.
It's kind of the only way to get decent Star Wars content now as well, isn't it?
Valorant. Oh, sorry.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Can I be a bit controversial here and say I don't actually like Star Wars?
Can you, Dan, can you pretend?
Oh, kidding with you, Adam.
That's like saying you don't like Back to the Future now. You'd have a problem with me if you said that. That would be where we probably could not be friends.
Did Did you guys see that edit where they put Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. as Doc and Marty?
Yes.
That's actually spawned conversations as to whether they actually could pull it off as a remake.
They could absolutely do it. I'm really hesitant about people remaking films, especially ones that are cult classics. Like take like Pulp Fiction, for example, or Back to the Future. There's such ingrained in our society that if you do it injustice, it's going to be very bad. So if it was anybody, I would say those are the only two that I truly trust could probably pull it off.
Greedy 4K, yeah. So, Adam, do you think they should launch base in this current climate? Voice of reason.
I am really torn between this because if they did release base, a lot of people are saying they shouldn't because it might put a strain on the ISPs and whatnot. But I love Stadia, and it has replaced all of my other forms of gaming. This is my main way of gaming, but we're not going to see the numbers. Netflix has probably got 50 million, 100 million plus people watching it. Amazon Prime probably has similar figures. At the moment, we've probably got about random figure pulled from my head, 300,000 people playing Stadia. And I can't see it going more than a couple of million at a really, really generous guess. It's just not going to have the impact that Netflix and Amazon does. At the same time, there will be certain news outlets, I won't name any of them, but they know who they are, who will spin it where they'll say that Google is taking advantage of the coronavirus. It might well be. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, just interrupt. Yes, I think they would spin it, but I don't think they would be spinning it taking advantage. I think they would spin it as them hogging the bandwidth more rather than taking advantage, because there's a lot of places who would be, quote, taking advantage, just because look at all the football managers taking advantage in the UK then, but they're not. They're actually trying to be nice. But I think there would be a lot of negative spin. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. And I agree, actually. You bring up another point. I think they would definitely try and demonize Stadia for launching base and increasing the number of people who use it. But just look at GeForce Now. I imagine that GeForce Now has a lot more people using it. Apparently, even the people who are paying for the Pro subscription, whatever it's called, they're still in waiting queues because there's so many people trying to use it. But then, like I was saying, on the other hand, I don't know. I can't make my mind up whether I think it's a good idea or not. I want the extra players, but I also don't want Google to do anything that pushes them away.
You can't be Switzerland here, Adam. You got to choose something. I'm just kidding, mate. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
See, I was on the fence with it, but I've recently just switched to no. I don't think they should do it, and it's actually only from the point of view that I think if they launch it now, my internet in general has had an impact over the last week. I think if they launch base, you are just going to get a higher number of people that have a lower internet capacity anyway. Use this, find that it doesn't work particularly well at the moment, and just join all of the... I just don't think Stadia need to be giving anybody any ammo to fire at them anymore. I think just wait this out. People aren't even in the... Yeah. And you know what? Another point that I didn't think of before that I just thought of is the people that get base now, this isn't a financially stable time. How many people are going to actually go and pay money to play the games on Stadia on an online-only, digital-only platform? You're probably going to get more people in the sense if they can buy the game on traditional media and play it offline without that requirement, then that seems like a safer thing at the moment. And I haven't bought anything non-digital for a long time, but yeah, I just don't think it's a good move right now.
Yeah, just on Tommy's point there, that's what I've actually done over the last couple of days is I've just downloaded a ton of games on the PlayStation and Xbox just in case the internet goes.
I wanted to say about Tommy's point about your internet seems to have been affected. I've not noticed anything myself, but what I was going to say is I imagine it's all of the people spending 3-4 hours downloading Doom onto their various consoles.
It's a good shout.
So,
Especially.
go ahead, Tom.
No,
Sorry.
I was just. Mine's not going to matter. I was only going to say to do with how many people would be downloading that game. I'm sure that bandwidths are maximized at times when these big AAA games launch.
So my 2 cents on this is then if you allow me to share one article here. I saw this last week. It's regarding Steam. Last weekend, which was the first lockdown, the first weekend of lockdown, let's say globally, Steam had reached the highest number of concurrent players at the same time, capping 20 million people playing on Steam. So if we're talking about 20 million people playing on Steam, and of course the base of players on Stadia right now, it's very low, and with the whole situation of YouTube media being against Stadia and the Stadia becoming available, and due to the internet circumstances of the peak of concurrent member users using the internet, the experience may not be so good. It goes back to the point Tommy was saying. So strategically, I don't think it's a good point for Stadia to launch because the internet capacity, it's not on a normal landscape right now. It's overloaded everywhere.
Just since you mentioned Steam there, go have a look at Steam. There's a load of good free games on there at the moment. The Tomb Raider's on for free. For free, yeah, and the wee side-scrolling Tomb Raiders for free. You've got Football Manager. I think everybody in the UK knows about Football Manager being free at the moment. But the Tomb Raider is 100% free, and Ubisoft are starting to kick off some games as well for free.
So I think Tommy probably put it the best way that I could probably say it is that, and Eddie has as well, because Eddie actually tackled the flip side of what the ramifications are. If you go and you do what could potentially happen here is that strategically it doesn't make sense for them from a resource standpoint. And right now, if we think about Google as the large company that they are focused on allocating resources right now due to this pandemic. They're going to be shifting things in different directions. They're going to be focusing on making sure that certain areas are more fitted with higher, either higher bandwidth or higher server capacity than others. And, you could, again, we don't know this. This is all speculation. I'm not saying this is fact or not, 100%, but you could see a situation where they're using some of the server capacity at these data centers to be used for specific purposes that are dealing with maybe medical reasons, maybe fulfillment, maybe resource management, meaning how things are being moved across the United States. Maybe they sublet that out to companies to use their cloud interface. Eddie, I think, says it the best way, again, on that flip side of the coin, is that you don't want to put this product out right now and people play it, even in the conditions that we're in right now, where people are at home, and someone tries Stadia, and the first impression that they get is they're getting 720p or less, and then it's bogging out, it's not working correctly, it's not functioning accurately. I can tell you the other night when I was actually playing on Destiny, I actually had to reload Stadia 3 times because it kept kicking me out with server errors. And I listen, I didn't get frustrated at Stadia or frustrated at Bungie. It's just the reality of it's probably my internet. It's probably everyone using up the internet capacity where I live. And that's going to be the reality of what we're going to be facing over the next, we know for sure the next month, but probably the next 6 to 8 months at minimum, is going to be the reality that we're all going to be facing. So if I was Google, quite honestly, they've got to be very careful how they move forward in this current landscape, because if they overextend themselves too far, they set themselves up for a really bad PR issue. And on the flip side of it, again, Google is a company that is being utilized heavily by so many different segments of the marketplaces right now, they may not be able to afford bringing on base at this point because their resources are already being tapped and taxed. And even if base rolled out, and I promise this is the last part, Duncan kind of alluded to this, they're going to cap how many people come onto the service anyways. They're not going to give the free reign to GFN like we're seeing with GeForce Now in these waiting queues. They've already told us that with the APKs. So the question is, how many do they have, and is it even worth them putting it out there? Because if they can only give 100,000 people access to base, that's not a rollout. Then that's not something they should do. So that's just my 2 cents on it. My overall answer is no. This is not the time to be rolling out base.
This is the time to be working on the features in the background, getting everything up.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, and I agree with all your sentiments as well there. I don't think there's really much I can add that you haven't already all said. I just want to put something on the screen that Tommy sent me, and that is The Independent, which is it's the UK's largest quality digital news brand on the internet. And they're basically confirming that due to coronavirus, they're throttling YouTube and Amazon by reducing stream quality. So there you have it.
And just checking something else as we're on at the moment as well. Looking at whether or not you can play Doom from inside of Doom. And in the Fortress of Doom right now, and I know where that computer is, so I'm just going to go and check it out right now and see whether or not you can play Doom inside of Doom.
While we're waiting for Tommy, here's an interesting thing. Do we see games slipping, or Google specific, Stadia specific games in, say, Get Packed? Because we all like Get Packed was coming out probably this month. Do they push it back because base isn't coming? Because it looked like base was going to happen this month, and that was being like the gateway drug in with the crowd play.
Look, Chase saying no and me, and then saying yes.
Yes. No. So I think any game that's coming out that could be on current gen consoles, those are going to move forward. They have enough resources where they can work from home and do all the necessary things to get the game out and about. Where I think the issue comes in is next gen, because we already know for sure, even let's just say best case scenario, there's only going to be a limited amount of PS5s and Series X's that come out this year. And that's really, I'm not trying to be disingenuous. I'm not trying to knock Sony or Xbox, but that's really even pushing it. I don't even think we get anything this year from those consoles, not any fault of their own. It's just, again, the reality of the landscape that we're in. So if those consoles aren't coming out, you're not going to see these next-gen games come out like a Cyberpunk. They're not going to waste and allocate resources to force that game out on a previous generation and then cut out all of the next-gen consoles as well. It doesn't make any logistical sense for them to do something like that, because then they're going to have to allocate resources later to then go back and re-release the game a second time. They're not going to want to do that.
So my comment on the games on Stadia is, yes, I think Monday, aka tomorrow, we will hear something about Get Packed and we hear something about Arcs Must Die 3. Either it's a release date or it's a new trailer or it's something, but we're going to get something from those games.
Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate to say, I don't think that Stadia has been included in the Doom on Doom. There's no interaction with the computer.
Jesus, just when we thought we were going to get Inception. Man.
Doomception. So, yeah. I kind of want to just give a quick shout out to some of the people in the chat. We've kind of neglected the chat because I think we've all been so caught up in the conversation as well. And I'm sorry if any of you in the chat have actually left since. So, Antonio, we've got Cloud Zero. Megatron jumped in. Hey guys, Antonio, I'm surprised they haven't shut church down. Obviously referring to the current climate as we've been talking about. Regal. This is also just to give Tommy a bit of time to check to see if he can get Doomception working as well. Charles Oran, thank you for turning out as always. 0 games for me. We have so many like familiar faces in this community as well. I know that you guys see these people day in, day out as well. So it's fantastic to kind of see us all supporting one another, basically. So
Gonna say Brian from Club Stadia and Sunny.
yeah,
Woo!
Sunny.
The number one Sonic fan.
Don't get just
Shots fired.
If looks could kill.
don't get just like throwing grenades into a room and running away.
So that kind of brings me into one of my next points as well. I'll continue to kind of flag up some of your comments in the chat as well. So Stadia Rocks, who was actually one of the guests on last week's show as well, has kindly become one of our patrons on our Patreon as well. So big thank you to him, and also Michael Nakarato. I'm not sure if I pronounced that surname correctly, but is also one of the crew members at Stadia Source as well. But yes, thank you to you guys for your donations as well. So and that obviously if you've checked out Stadia Rocks, okay, I didn't even hear what that was, but
That was Linkin Park.
oh, okay.
Oh, holy
So yeah,
holy
go
Christ.
and check out Stadia Rocks' podcast as well. He's a regular on the Glorious Stadia podcast. He does his own YouTube videos and he's got a website as well. So if you haven't checked him out, he's kind of, what is he? Your Chase, your twin brother or something?
He's my evil twin, but he's actually, I think, the person that's a little bit closer to the ground on the tech side. So I really highly respect and value his thoughts. He's very insightful, and he's got a wealth of knowledge from the business side of the house.
Definitely. Some guy called Stadia Talks here as well. Don't know who he is. Must be new.
Must have been that ghost that was over your shoulder earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. That was the weirdest thing.
The fridge just randomly opened. So we've had my flying Stadia blanket.
It was like this white light over his shoulders. Like, is it a door? Is it a ghost? What's going on over there? Are you okay? I'm concerned.
It's got a bit chilly in here. I'll give it that. But no, the other half wanted something from the fridge. So.
Oh, it was the fridge. That makes sense. So,
MGS.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go and put those our patrons on the screen now as a thank you to them. We've kind of come to the end of our stream now. So is there anything anybody wants to kind of add before we wrap this up?
Yeah, ID, get your stuff together. Put Doom in Doom on Stadia. That's not fair.
I have a feeling it's there. You might have to do a bit more research.
Well, that is the computer. I definitely went to the right computer, but you just
Did you
can't
punch
interact
it?
with it. Yes, that's all that I was able to do. It seems weird that they'd leave it out for one platform, right?
yeah.
That's
Unless
nice.
you have
Second,
to- maybe it
Doom
unlocks
2 is
at a
coming out
later
on
stage.
Stadia as well.
Well, yeah,
And they don't want to give it away for free.
Yeah.
That sounds like user error to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
do better.
All right, Mr. Harrison.
I do want to say something that this is something I've said on my stream a couple of times, but I do truly mean this when I say it. Folks, this is the time right now that this community needs to support each other. And the folks out there that have Patreons, I think this is a time where this is I know it's hard, and I know we don't all have disposable incomes, but if you can just give a little bit, it goes a long way, because these folks are doing really hard work in the background. And I know for a fact, Tommy does amazing work. Duncan does amazing work. Even though he doesn't like me saying this, he's the investigative journalist for Stadia Source. He's shaking his head, but it's the truth. Adam does tons and tons of work. And I know that from hearing in my Discord voice chat when he's working on game reviews and stuff, and the amount of work he puts in. Guys, they truly deserve your support. So if you can try to give a little bit, even if it's just $1. I know your tiers are a little bit different than some, Dan, for Stadia Source, but whatever is the minimum, if you can give a little bit, this is definitely the time to try to do it.
And of course, if anybody's got any suggestions, we kind of put these tiers together just as a kind of, you know what I mean, what can we give back to you type of thing. If you've got any suggestions of what we could add to them or what changes you'd like to see, just let us know and we'll see if we can accommodate them as well. So
yeah, and real quick, and also the charity that was put in here, this is awesome. Like, you should also try to absolutely support that, because that's going to go a long way for a lot of impacted individuals out there. So let me just say, you guys deserve a round of applause for doing this, man. You really do.
So yeah, if you haven't donated already, if you could put obviously in the donation note as well, that you've been sent by any one of us from the Stadia Source or Stadia Talk or Stadia Player One, if they want to extend it as well, that'll just obviously let them know that we sent you, and our anonymous benefactor is obviously going to double any amount that's donated as well. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know who that is that's said that, but hopefully they stay true to their word. So thank you again. Yes, as Chase just actioned. And if you kind of missed it at the beginning as well, Charm to Thrive is a UK charity that provides mental health support for people currently in isolation due to coronavirus, people with depression, anxiety, loneliness. It's just basically someone to kind of talk to and help them get through it and not feel so alone during these times. And any one of our viewers that's currently going through tough times because of this, whether it's because it's yourself that's suffering or you've got a loved one as well, we hope that we've kind of provided a little bit of an escape for you today. And we obviously want you to look after yourselves as well. Play some Stadia, stay indoors. Yeah, just look after yourselves. So all we really can do at this point in time. And I'm babbling. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up if everybody's happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one thing first though. One thing. I'll be right back.
He's going to make us wait.
I can't. It's over here. Right there.
Just trying to
Easy for me.
talk amongst yourself for a moment. I'll be 2 seconds.
I'll tell you
So
while he's gone, let me just prove that it's not there.
This guy, he's like, I have to make sure that people understand I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Because there's
This is the Fortress of Doom, and I apologise that it doesn't play particularly well whilst I'm streaming. But
Hang on, just 2 secs. Right, I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm gonna just
Happy
kick
Mother's
you off
Day
from-
to all the mums.
Oh,
Happy Mother's Day.
Hello, Mrs. Adam.
Mrs. Adam.
Happy Mother's Day.
Can you get me off there now?
can you get me off there now?
We're just wrapping up.
Like, I'm done. Get me off.
Grind him.
I've got some good news.
He's found it.
There's a
found
second
it.
computer. I was looking at this one. I've just seen another computer.
That looks like a computer.
So what?
Oh.
So it was user error.
Yeah.
Choose one. Choose.
V1.1 by ID Software.
Why
It's
does that
loading.
not work? Oh, what you've got? Why can't you just type? Oh, what?
See, that's it. It's like, no, you're not allowed. You are not allowed.
Well, it's there now.
Yeah,
can
we
confirm
believe
it's
you now.
there.
Bethesda came in, they're like, you're not allowed, sir. You spoke ill will of us. We're shutting this down.
Hello, little dude. I don't
Okay.
want to be on stream. I'll give him some privacy there. So yeah, brilliant stream as always, guys. It's always a laugh to speak to every single one of you, and thank you for turning out to be here with us tonight.
Go play.
Go play Stadia.
The Division 2. Let's get a clan.
Yeah, so like as we said earlier, we're going to try and get some game streams going up as well. So if any of you guys in the chat want to jump in with us at any time, just let us know, and we'll try and get as many people in as we can during those times as well. And if you're a Patreon as well, you also jump the queue. So there's that. Let's add Tommy back in there.
What did I miss?
Everything. The
You've
entire
been gone for an hour, Tommy. God.
You can put it up again and try again. See if we can do this before it kicks me out.
He absolutely wants to try.
In the meantime, guys, I'm gonna tell you there's a movie on Netflix. I recommend you to watch if you have some time. It's a very appropriate movie for the situation we're living right now. It's called Contagion. It's from 2011, and it tells a little bit of the story we are living right now. So it impresses how close to reality it is right now, but it also gives a perspective things are gonna get better. Flying Target.
Target. We spelled that wrong.
I can't press enter. It doesn't do anything. I may have spelled it wrong as well, but
What were you trying to spell?
Flying Taggart is what I read. Don't go. I can't find the webpage. I think I've closed it. It's double G. Double G.
This is why you shouldn't subscribe to Stadia Arcade.
Stadia Arcade, yeah. This is why.
I was waiting for Duncan to be like, user error. This is exactly what I was saying.
Then soundboard.
And it's also not Flying Taggart. It's Flynn. FLY.
Is it Flynn's Arcade? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Everybody.
Yep. That's what happens when Stadia Arcade is in charge and showing what's going on.
I'm not in
Everybody's
charge.
doing this.
I'm not in charge. But you are more than...
Hey.
I didn't even have to get to it. There we go.
What is the
Just
other
it
one?
felt sorry for me before I finished it. It's like, yeah, you can play it now.
Oh,
And
Oh.
The other one.
yes.
someone pass the tissues over to Chase now.
If you've got any, no one can buy any.
Oh, this brings back so many memories.
This is probably why everyone is panic buying tissues, to be fair.
That or genital jousting.
Oh my god.
The question is, though, Tommy, is it 4K?
I doubt this is even 1K.
Do you remember when on this game where if you played the older version, you had to switch the floppy disk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you unlock Doom 1 on... what? How you unlock Doom 1 on this is you have to complete the game and collect all 16 floppy disks. And then you unlock Doom 1.
It should be interactive right there, right? Or is it not?
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Very good.
I'd just like to say I've had a message from our anonymous benefactor that as there wasn't very much donated during the stream, he instead has decided to double the entire donations, which will equal about £520.
Whoa.
You're kidding.
Nope.
That's awesome.
So a big round of applause to him. It means
Whoever
a
you
lot.
are,
I'm sorry, I was raising the roof, but let me also give a clap. I deserve both.
I know you want to remain anonymous, but you need to at least get in contact with me. Yeah. Admin at
Xbox, what's that?
I almost said it.
admin at stadiasource.com.
Admin at Xbox. Xbox.
Xbox. You can also get me at admin at xboxresource.com as well. Both. Oh,
Flashbacks there, Dan.
Yeah, I know. I need to be penalised for that. I need some sort of punishment for that. But
Some people would say like put it on his head, but it's already there.
yeah, please. My God, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
it means the absolute universe to us.
I think that means it's the Just Dance punishment live stream.
I will do it. I will do it.
He's got to dance to the Doom music. So Eddie has to put that on at some point, and he's got to improvise the moves.
And
how
he's
do you
got to
even
do
play
the
Just
fliggle
Dance on
giggle.
Stadia?
You have to have a phone in your pocket, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's most of the time.
I believe. I haven't tried it, obviously.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Did you mention the fliggle giggle then?
Yes, I did mention the fliggle giggle.
Do I have to do it now?
Yes.
Fliggle giggle.
1 second.
I think I might need to mute for this.
So, is anybody familiar with Tenacious D and the song Tribute?
Just a little bit. In fact, would it not be good if we had like the video up at the same time as you did it, Dan? That specific part.
I can get it up.
Yes, that's what she said.
I knew someone was going to twist that. As soon as I said that. Tenacious D Tribute. Obviously, you won't hear Tenacious D's the actual song, but you'll hear me doing.
We'll hear it better, arguably.
Yeah, obviously
Got
better.
it, man?
One of those lame karaoke things. Okay, you want to bail? Go ahead. You want to walk away from your dreams? Or...
No, okay.
Oh, are you doing it? Hang on.
Sound.
Yeah, it wasn't. You didn't share the tab with sound.
It doesn't let me share it with Dan.
Yeah, it does. If you do share screen, right when you go into there, there's a little check off at the very bottom left. It'll say share audio.
Share screen. No, it doesn't for me. Unless anybody else wants to share it. I'm using Firefox, so I don't know if that matters or.
Maybe, I don't know, because this is what it should look like. Hold on, I'm gonna send this to you through Discord real quick, Dan, just so you can see.
Yeah, I have got it.
Folks, I'm really sorry. It was a blast hanging out with you guys, but I gotta go.
Okay,
no worries.
I'll
Thanks for
see
coming.
you around. Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie.
See you later, Eddie.
all right.
Cheers.
You'll see on mine, Dan, where I showed you the screen. You can actually see.
You're using Chrome, so I'm using Firefox at the moment.
Yeah, that might be one.
Can anybody else share it, or shall I?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
the.
the right part.
I cannot believe he's gonna do it. Oh god.
There we go.
Oh, I can't get rid. It's going to share my screen anyway. But
Right. Let me share then. I have got the right. I'll give you a few more seconds to get into it, and then I'll mute the sound on mine when it gets to the right bit. I need this on 2 windows, or I'm not going to be able to do it.
Y'all have no idea what you're in for. People watching.
Pro tip: be careful sharing screen audio.
Yeah, no.
I'll
here we go.
I'll back up a little bit.
There's a bit of echo there.
To the greatest song in the world, Polaroid. It was the greatest song in the world,
I can't do it because I can hear myself. Oh, you ruined it.
You can go again.
Okay. I hear myself doing it. Concentrate. You need to mute that. Hang on. You ready?
Just wing it.
Squeak, flicker, Lucifer.
So good. So good.
Yeah, I'll have another one for you next week as well. So, did you want to say something?
He'll be here all night.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I say something here? It's just to ruin the mood a bit here. Is if Adam from Stadia Rocks is watching, if he needs to reach out to us here, or just to see everything's okay, I'm actually shocked about the news there, which is just broke there. So if he's feeling okay, or he wants to speak to someone, he can speak to me, or I'll take it anybody here as well. Or you're just digesting it there. So yeah, I can believe that just popped up in my feed a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
So if it needs to reach out, yeah, you can send me a PM on or DM on Twitter or anything.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a shot.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. So again, I know I've said this already.
And I'm not bombshell.
Oh no, not bombshell. Yeah, we need like the EastEnders, like ding, 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 ding. Anyway, yeah, thanks again. It's been a blast having you guys here. So we'll see some of you on the next one, and I'm sure we'll see you in the future as well, Chase. So, all right, thank you. Bye bye.
And don't
Bye,
subscribe to Stadia Arcadia.
Bye bye.